Okay, so now that we've taken the time to put this thing back together, we're going to look at how to use this. Well, first of all, let's look at the back. You've got your power cable right in the back here, but you also have a switch right here that's off and on. I'm going to be sure it's off before I plug it in, rather. And I'm not going to plug it in just yet. Okay, so I've just filled this thing up with water, and if you notice right here on the front, it has the different fill lines. Now here's your minimal. If it's below that, it will not work. If it's above this, you're gonna have problems. So be sure you keep it between the minimal and the maximum. I've got about 40 ounces in right now. And then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to add some of this formula. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this into the Baby Brezza. As you notice, it's clumping. Now, that's only because this formula hasn't been used at all in like 10 months. So this formula is old. And FYI, just a disclaimer, I'm not gonna feed this to anybody. I use this rake to kind of even some of this out. Well, this isn't gonna be perfect this time. All right, now you'll notice there's also on this a max line and a minimal line. It's currently off. I'm turning it on right now. All right, and you hear that initial beep. Well, right now, this temperature light is blinking. That's just telling me that the water is not warm enough yet. So we have to wait until that is warmed up before this will even work. So even if I were to hit the start button right now, it would not work. So let's give that a few minutes. You see there's the blue light right there. That indicates that there are 2 ounces. There's 4, 6, 8, and 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the ounce button and go to 8. And it always defaults to 2. I've never figured out how to get it to stay on 1 or on a certain number whenever you turn it on. So it always starts at 2. I'm going to move it over to 8. I'm going to barely pull this out. Now you see the funnel light right there? So that funnel light comes on whenever this is barely out, or whenever it's not all the way in, rather. Even when it's pressed in and you think it's in, that light's still on. Go ahead and grab it and just push it in all the way. That light will go off. So while we're still waiting on this, I just wanted to also mention that you're not gonna have to wait every time for this to warm up unless you refill this fresh. There's a heater in here that warms the water up to a certain temperature. That temperature should be just right for your baby, but you need to definitely be sure to check on your wrist or however you check that to make sure it's not too hot. In fact, this doesn't get as hot as the Munchkin bottle warmer that I reviewed prior. You can check that review out. One more thing, we use purified water that we bought in the baby section for this. We'd never use tap in this. It's probably better that you use some kind of purified water. I would buy baby water that you can buy in the baby section. You can use tap, but I'm thinking you probably have to clean it more if you do that. Anyway, this light is green. Let me lean it forward for you now. It's no longer blinking yellow or orange. And I've got an 8-ounce bottle set. Now, one thing I want to tell you is that I meant to do this before I added formula. And what you should do is run a thing of water through it, a 10-ounce thing of water through this bottle maker before you add formula. That way it gets any kind of gunk or whatever that's already inside this unit out. I've got an 8-ounce bottle set. I'm going to set this underneath, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this bottle needs to be a little higher. And you want it to be able to slide right under the nozzles. So I'm going to go ahead and try to move this first. Let's just pretend like I've already figured out exactly where I want this. All right, so this slides under there perfectly. There's only about a millimeter worth of space. You can see the ounces, 1 through 9 here. So this will make a 10-ounce bottle. But I'm gonna make an 8-ounce bottle. I'm just gonna hit the start button. It's going to dispense formula and water at the same time. Okay. So some of you noticed that this is a little higher than 8 ounces. Well, that has a lot to do with the clumpiness of this just because of the formula I have. But also, you got to keep in mind displacement. This actually puts out exactly 8 ounces of water. So if you were to do this without formula in it, it would come exactly to where the 8 ounces, the 8 ounce mark is. But because we have formula, there's a thing called displacement, and that makes it rise. So I'm just gonna add the lid to this. Maybe you put a finger over the nipple there. All right, and then after doing that, I'm going to, much like the Munchkin bottle warmer, I'm going to test this. If you don't feel anything on your wrist, then you know it's good. This bottle did not come out super warm, but again, it just warmed up. It did come up warmer than room temperature, which is good. I think for the most part, it still did the job like it's supposed to. The consistency and thickness of the formula looks correct. There is a way to test this. You can make another bottle by hand, and I've done the same thing. I've made a bottle by hand, and I've tested the consistency between this bottle and the bottle I made by hand, and it was really close, if not almost exactly the same. So that's the good thing about this Baby Brezza, or this Formula 1 Baby Brezza thing, is that it makes a pretty good bottle. And in the middle of the night, whenever you're just waking up and it's time to feed baby, this thing is freaking great. So that is pretty cool for that reason. If you decide that you want to make a bottle by hand and not use this part up here, you can certainly do that. You do not have to add any formula to this to do that. You can just fill the tank up, let it stay heated up, and then have the bottle under there, press start, and just get warm water, and then add the formula yourself. You can certainly do that. That does not cause any damage to this. That, again, is a really expensive bottle warmer, but if that's what you decide to do, and we decided to do that after a while because I got tired of cleaning this so much. Okay, so as I said before, the thing I don't like about this is cleaning. This thing is a mess. This thing will clump up right under here, right here, and you have to wipe this out daily. I mean, at the very least, once every 2 days. It will have gunk right under here, right in this little hole area where this formula comes out. And depending on what type of formula you use, it will gunk up more. It's kind of a pain. That's not that big of a deal. The bigger deal is washing this once a week. And that is a serious kind of pain in my booty. And by the way, when you're cleaning this thing, be sure you don't get water up in this. So again, another reason I don't like cleaning this. So here's the other thing. So if you look right here, this is the hole where the water goes into the tank. I guess this is the pump. So it pumps it up to the top and it pumps water into here. And really the water and the formula mix inside this funnel, and then it comes into the bottle. And I always shake up the bottle no matter what. But here's the thing I don't like about this. How in the world do you get inside here to clean this? All right, what if mold or something grows? There's no way to get inside there to clean it, and I don't really know how to go about cleaning that. Maybe one of you guys have a suggestion out there. Maybe somebody already has this, and you can tell me, how I would clean this. That is the Baby Brezza Formula 1 bottle maker. I hope this was helpful. Again, please subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and hit that like button.